People, don't you know what this is? This is Training Camp with Kolby Van Camp on Wildcat 91.9. Good evening, Manhattan, Wamego, Junction City, and anywhere the internet has enveloped you in its cold embrace. Welcome to Training Camp with Kolby Van Camp, yours truly behind the gray microphone, high atop the music department and McCain Auditorium, located on McCain Drive in the heart of the campus of Kansas State University, in the core of the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas. It is a great day to be a Wildcat. Wow. So Jazsmin, is the final Friday for training camp.
Sad.
Over the airways. I know it's gonna be weird not having to come into the station every evening and do the show from 6 to 7. However, we have a great collection of awesome programming set up for the Sports Talk Hour. So Jazsmin's doing her show, Run It Back, 6 to 7 p.m. on Mondays.
Yeah.
Still solidifying Tuesdays. I know I said that last night, but we're like one step closer as of a couple of emails today. Wednesday, I don't know the title of it yet, but Anthony Georges, who's now the new sports director for Wildcat 91.9, is going to be doing his show. Thursdays, you got yours truly, and then Fridays, the reprise of Shake and Blake with Blake Crawford and John Grove. So, Mr. K-State Game Day himself is probably going to be getting multiple days on the air now, so that's kind of fun. So yeah, be sure to tune in specifically for my show, 6 to 7 p.m. on Thursdays, starting the school year, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So, Jazsmin, first, great to have you back in the show. I missed your energy last night. So I had JP Cardenas on the show. He's great, and I've known him for a while, but my energy was just lacking last night, and I could not kickstart it for anything. And you always are like ultra energy.
I can't stop it.
Yeah, for all the folks who go and watch my YouTube channel where I post all these videos, Jazsmin dances for you. So yeah, there you go.
Yes, I do.
Yes, she dances.
Y'all got something to say? Well, tough
she dances
nuggets.
all the time, and you can't see it, and it just makes me laugh most of the time. So I will say that there's a very interesting article that came out of GoPowerCat.com today. And it was by Fitz, and he's the owner, editor, GoPowerCat.com. And I'm not going to read the article. I'm just going to pose this to you, Jazsmin, and then we're going to talk about it. So, could a multi-year run in football lead to either the SEC or the Big Ten eyeing Kansas State?
No way.
What's your just straight up?
Straight up, no way.
Straight up, no way. Why?
Because we've talked about at least how K-State's just always been disrespected, kind of at the bottom of ESPN's boot whenever they like place things and do records and this, that, and third. Always place us like bottom half of the Big 12 every year, even though we finish better than what they predicted. We like blah blah blah, all that yada yada. So, no, I really don't think so. We could win, like, the Big 12 championship for, like, 5 straight years. But that 6th year, if we don't, they'd be like, see? And I feel like it'd be something like that. That's just me personally. I know I'm a really positive person. I know that statement was very pessimistic of me. But I just don't think so. I think the SEC is, quote-unquote, too prestigious. And the Big Ten is trying to catch up to the SEC in their prestige. So they would get somebody else. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It could, I doubt it. I very much doubt it. I'm like 99.97% sure that it wouldn't work out.
So there's that, but there's still that 0.03% in the back of your mind.
Yeah, gotta leave a little room for error. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So firstly, I asked that question because I know you're a generally upbeat person, and I relish. Okay, this is I relish in hearing generally upbeat people be really pessimistic from time to time, because then I'm like, yes, I did it. I corrupted you for the moment. And so I enjoyed asking you that loaded question because I knew your responses was gonna be that, and that it's inherently against what you want it to be. Mm-hmm. So score 1 for me.
Good job. Man. Good job.
Yeah, I know I'm so manipulative. But outside of that, I also agree. And as a generally pessimistic person, i.e. me, that doesn't at all ring any bells or raise my eyebrows in any kind of way. I think you're right. I think that the only way that the Big Ten or the SEC would ever consider Kansas State is if they had a 3 to 5 number in the national championship column. I think if that happened, I think if K-State in some parallel universe went unbelievably ridiculous and they won 3 national titles in 10 years, then I think that the SEC or the Big Ten would be like, hello. They would slide into Gene Taylor's DMs and say, yo, how are we feeling about that? And even then, I think that there's still, like, I think K-State fans would be like, pass.
I would agree.
We don't want to be associated with you.
Yeah.
Which I think would be so supremely hilarious if K-State was like, if the Big Ten came knocking, K-State, let's say 2040, let's say I'm 41 years old, and K-State wins 3 natties between 2030 and 2040. I'm not saying this is going to happen, people. Don't slide into my DMs on Twitter and be like, you can't say that kind of stuff because it's not going to happen. It probably won't happen, but I'm being hypothetical. So if that happens, and the Big Ten shows up, and they're like, hey, you should come join our side, I think the Big 12 and K-State would say, nah, we good. We're good. I don't need you. We don't need your fat stacks and super PACs, right? We're good. And but you never know. You never know. Money does weird things to even the best of people and the best of institutions.
It does talk.
It does talk. And I for half a second there in my brain I considered saying enter USC and UCLA, and then I was like, nah, they don't have a moral conscience. Because if they did, they wouldn't have left the Pac-12. Even though, like, from a business standpoint, it is a great move to leave the Pac-12 because they're on fire right now. They're literally burning at the stake. That the SEC and the Big Ten, like, invented. So there's not much I can say about that. But this is what Fitz has to say. He says, that's not going to be K-State, folks. If it's going to be about 2 conferences aligning the biggest draws in TV, I'm afraid they're going to have to go past 24 teams apiece to get a K-State. And that's not going to happen. What K-State's hope is that the Big 12 can emerge as the 3rd conference, the conference that isn't totally rooted in squeezing money out of your TV value and bringing in worthy programs. Maybe your money will be less, but again, through the history of college athletics, and Texas has proven to us that having the most money doesn't mean you have the most success. So I'm fine with that. But I think K-State's place is right where they are, right where this school is, and growing the conference into something special. And I agree with that. But I'm gonna bounce another hypothetical off you then, Jazsmin. So let's say the unthinkable happens and the super conferences become a reality. And it turns into like the Big 20 and the SEC. And then everybody's like, well, I guess you're going to be like group of 5 D1 teams. Bye-bye. And then they're super selective. Does K-State get selected for something like that?
No, the only way I think they get, I don't think they would unless something incredibly crazy happens here for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I truly don't think so. Even though you said, like, if it was offered, you know, be like, hey, Big Ten or SEC, you know, sliding into, you know, K-State's DMs or whatever, maybe then still, like, I don't know, because if it's looking like, yeah, there's going to be 2 conferences only, and then there's going to be, like, the lower division and the FCS schools, you need to, you know, pick your poison. It's either going to be this or it's going to be that. If it looks like that's where it's going to, say, like, I don't know, 2041, whatever it's going to be, then I feel like that might be different, because then you don't really have a choice. Your program is going to be kind of held hostage at that point.
Yeah.
So, it's a whole bunch of ifs and a whole bunch of hypotheticals to get to that point, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with that. So that's, I'm not even going to say anything more about that because I think it's self-explanatory, but I just wanted to get your feel on that as well. So K-State soccer, RIP. First, tell us, you were on ESPN Plus.
I was on ESPN Plus.
K-State HGTV. Fantastic. How was that experience?
It was pretty cool. I thought I'd be, you know, high key terrified because, you know, I can talk to you guys just fine on the radio because y'all can't see me. that's quite the opposite when I'm actually on camera. Then you're like, all of you can see me. It's like eyes zooming in on me. But it was pretty cool. So, you know, looked all nice, looked all like, you know, like get on your Holly Rowe and Maria Taylor vibes. That's pretty much what they were telling me as far as what to dress. So I was like, all right, bet. Do not have that kind of money yet, but all right, I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Felt all official when I got the little earpiece in. I was like, so this is what everybody hears at the same time.
What do you hear in the earpiece?
I hear the broadcast, like how they do it on TV, and then hear the whole thing like goal, and I hear, you know, in the like the production. Like producer, like, hey, replay that goal kick or whatever, replay this, replay that, and he's like, Jazsmin, get ready with this story. I was like, all right, bet. So it's pretty much like that, and it was really cool. Did an interview with with the coaches pregame. Didn't get a chance to do halftime because Coach DeBini didn't get out the locker room until there was under 30 seconds left before the teams had to be out on the field. So that couldn't work out. I was looking forward to speaking with Coach DeBini again at postgame because that means either K-State won or they drew. But Northwestern scored 2 goals in the second half, so I had to talk with the Northwestern coach, which was fine. It was a really successful interview. But as far as for my first day, it was smooth. It was really, really smooth. I didn't have to like memorize like the stories that I had to prepare, so that was great. But when I do, that terror might come back.
Are they ramping you up towards memorizing your stories, or will they roll out a teleprompter, or like what are they gonna do?
No, I doubt there definitely won't be a teleprompter. I know, because this is the stories I had to find, be like, if there's a select player to talk about, like I had a story ready for Shea Turner. I had a story ready about the new scoreboard that they put up and things like that. So
did they give you a preset things they wanted to talk about, or
no,
they were like,
I wrote it all myself. I had
research.
Yeah, I had to go research, pretty much do some homework. I gave it to Brian Smoller, and he said like, okay, that means we'll know when to throw it to you whenever. So you kind of have to be ready for whatever player is out there for whatever they could possibly talk about. So I had to do some homework, but that was still cool because they won't have a camera on the field for me during soccer, so I can just read everything that I wrote from the paper, and there's no camera on me, so I can pretty much, that's fine.
Nice.
But when volleyball gets around and basketball, it's gonna be a little bit different, and I have to memorize it, and the camera will be right in front of my face. So
yeah, no, you'll do fine. You'll do fine. You'll do great. This is a good experience for you. So yeah, K-State RIP. Kansas State soccer was looking pretty good.
Sad.
First half, they had scored a goal. They were up 1-0 on Northwestern. Then Northwestern came back in the second half, rallied, and scored 2. This is according to the K-State press release after the game. A goal in the opening 6 minutes from freshman Sophie Harlan gave K-State a spark to begin the 2022 soccer season, but Northwestern rallied with a pair of second-half goals to secure the season opener 2-1 on Thursday night, i.e. last night at Buser Family Park. K-State registered the opening tally in the 6th minute mark of the corner kick, and then the loose ball coroned to the charging right foot of sophomore Ada Anderson just inside the Northwestern 18-yard box. Anderson attempted a shot towards the lower left corner, but the ball was redirected with a smooth backheel flick from Harlan. Harlan's redirection from the top of the 6-yard box found the bottom of the left post and tucked it into the frame. Northwestern went in front in the 70th minute as Emma Phillips stunned the 608 fans in attendance with a bicycle kick from the top of the 6-yard box on a cross from Lily Gibbertson. That felt like I was speaking a different language. Do you even know what a bicycle kick is?
Yes, I do know what a bicycle kick is, and I saw it, and it was the game winner. I was like, dang, that was sick. It's when it's how do I correctly explain a bicycle kick? It's where your back is turned to the goal, and like you kind of jump and get your leg up to try to hit the ball over your head and into the net. I think that's probably the best.
So you do like that flip and you like off your back and you like kick it as it.
Kind of, yeah. Pretty much, you're like the ball's coming towards you, but your back is faced against the goal. So, what are you really gonna do? It's not high enough for you to head it in there. It's not low enough for you to just get a little back heel, like Ada Anderson did. So, what you gotta do? You gotta like kind of flip backwards to hit it with your foot and into the goal, and that's pretty much what happened. And I was like, damn, I hate that. It's the game when I was like, dang, but I was also like, dang.
That was pretty sick.
It was pretty sick. And I talked to the coach afterward about it. I was like, so how about that game winner? And he said it was great because the girl who did it, what is her name?
Emma Phillips.
Emma Phillips. Like, she's a center back, so she normally doesn't do that. She's on the back line. She plays defense, so she's not really up there to get a lot of opportunities to score a goal, let alone show the skill that she can do a bicycle kick. And honestly, it looked like she surprised herself because when she got up, she was like, "Oh my god!" Right? And the whole team was like, "Oh my god!" So it's something that's like that's probably something she's gonna like tell her kids one of these days. It was pretty dope, and it was the game winner in the first game of the season. So, props to her.
Yeah. Well, so Kansas State, just some quick facts for you, is 0-3-1 all time against teams from the Big Ten. Kansas State women's soccer is 0-3-1 all-time against teams from the Big Ten. The Wildcats are 1-5-1 all-time in season openers. Remember, you can tie in soccer and own a 2-5-0 record in home openers. So, not a great start to the season for Coach Dabini. And I recall when we were at the media day that they said that they really wanted to win their home opener and give that fans that experience. RIP that they didn't. So,
was that second half was rough.
Yeah.
Northwestern was definitely the better team yesterday.
Yeah. Oh well. K-State, they're still growing into it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and we're going into it too. We're going into our second segment. You've been listening to Training Camp with Kolby Van Camp on Wildcat 91.9. Yeah. This one's for you, Jacob. I know he's such a Queen fan.
I can't.
Bro, Queen is so great.
Yeah, it is.
Queen is so great. I
Legendary
just
music.
like this song just makes me laugh in general because it's so like okay, as a musician, some of the absurd things that are said in rock music are incredible. And so I'm
gonna call this song the Triple B's. Anyone can figure out what that acronym would be, I will give you $5.
You can meet her here at the radio station. No, I'm kidding. We can't do that. But no, and then in all seriousness, Jacob, our chief assistant, I always forget what his title is. He runs the board and he's a legend at it.
He does everything.
Yeah,
so
he does
probably
everything.
Has like a lot
the
of
guru. Yeah, no, he loves Queen, so I had to play that for him. I played 2 Queen songs back to back. That's how much I wanted to give a little tip of the hat to Jacob. So the first thing I need to talk about is NCAA basketball. So ESPN dropped an article that says, and I was just blown away. Dick Vitale. I don't know how.
Dick Vitale.
Vitale. Thank you. Because I mean, okay, so. Anglicized like Italian names, right? Because if you look at it, it looks like Vitali, right? Or Vitale, right? So it's kind of like, okay. But anyway, so it says recently, there have been some big talks from the conference personnel that it is time to change the structure of the big dance. So now, because we can't decide on expanding the college football playoff, let's go monkey around with the college basketball tournament. I understand why the SEC and Big Ten would want the field to change. Texas and Oklahoma are coming to the SEC while USC and UCLA will join the Big Ten. That will give those conferences even more viable candidates for the field. Several thoughts have been floated on the internet. Expand to 96 teams, giving a few more little guys a chance, but also adding for those conferences that are expanding, or maybe cut the field down and feature the power conferences. Which is such a Jazsmin is giving like this evil look to her computer right now.
No, do not cut it down.
Don't cut it. Don't cut it down. Like that's ridiculous. Because
St. Joseph beat Kentucky because they didn't cut it down.
Peter.
My fault. St. Peter. See, that's how small the school is.
Yeah.
That's why this is even more important.
Yeah.
You feel me?
No. A team like St. Peter's getting to the Sweet 16 is literally what college basketball is all about. That's it. Steph Curry probably got into the NBA the way that he did because of the insane games that he played in the big dance.
Exactly. And also question, the conference that Gonzaga is in, are you all of a sudden not going to make that a power conference or just Gonzaga?
Right. Are we gonna bend over backwards for Gonzaga and move him into the Big Ten or some nonsense? So Dick Vitale has his own opinion. He says, for 3 weeks, the college basketball world dominates the sports headlines. We have a great event with 68 teams. We have a few teams upset. They were left out on Selection Sunday. We have major representation for the power conferences. We have Cinderella stories pulling Shock City. I love the tournament the way it is. Family members who don't watch the sport all season suddenly are interested. Sure, they fill out the brackets to keep them interested. What would the tournament be like if George Mason, Butler, VCU, Loyola Chicago, and others were not even invited? Kansas State might have won a national championship. But anyway, those schools made the Final Four. If the seeding process changed, would a number 8 seed like Villanova, a number 7 like Connecticut, or a number 6 seed such as NC State and Kansas cut down the nets? Championship week in its current state creates great excitement leading up to Selection Sunday. Teams that win their conference tournaments have earned the right to enjoy the glory. I can't wait for this season, returning to the sideline calling games. The sport is so special, and the Big Dance is in a great position right now. It fairly gives the fans and players, the coaches, and the media a great way to enjoy the competition. It also makes good money for the NCAA. And I agree. So don't go messing around with the freaking college football basketball tournament. Or Wow, there was a whole lot of incorrect in that.
It's okay.
The college football basketball tournament.
Put it all into one.
The CFBB, right? We're one B off from Jazmin's secret acronym. No, the college basketball tournament. Don't mess around with it. Don't do it.
If it ain't broke, do not fix it.
Exactly.
I mean, the 96 teams to from 68, that's a lot. I mean, granted, I love me some basketball in March. If it could be a little more basketball, I feel like I wouldn't complain as much. But I'm still okay with the 68 team format.
Yeah.
Just whatever you do, do not minimize the amount of teams.
Yeah, no.
Don't do that. Do not do that.
I think there'll be a riot if you do.
There would, and I would join it.
Yeah, and rightfully so. That's a justified riot, right?
Don't do it.
So we dropped last Friday the story of Aaron Rodgers doing shrooms for his ability to become a better football player, and we talked about how it's actually reported by people who do psychedelics from the mushroom family that they often create like a sense of like, I'm not an egotistical person anymore. Like, it detaches you from your sense of ego, which is, I think, fascinating. I just think that is so weird how that works. And that's like a generally reported experience if you do shrooms long enough. I have not done shrooms, so don't come and get me and be like, and how would you know, Mr. Van Camp? I don't, because I don't do shrooms. But so Green Bay Packers, so Aaron Rodgers has an ego. Aaron Rodgers is a weird dude to begin with, like, just weird.
Yeah.
But he also had a very strong sense of personal love. Not Antonio Brown level of personal love, not Tom Bryan Brown of personal love, but he likes himself. And he's been notoriously difficult to work with for some people because of how much he loves himself. However, I was thinking, maybe his shroom use is going to detach himself from his ego, and it's been reported by his teammates that he's like a better teammate now. I was like, okay, that seems to make sense. However, this is according to 2 days ago. This article by Rob Demovsky, who's an ESPN staff writer. It says Green Bay Packers young wide receivers meet with quarterbacks after Aaron Rodgers rant, and he went off on these poor young receivers. And I get it. Like, you know what? If you're paid big money to come to the NFL, you're a rookie, I get it. You need to produce, you need to perform, but also you're a freaking rookie, okay? And apparently Aaron Rodgers was very upset with some of the younger wide receivers and how they played. And apparently in the preseason game, their backup quarterback had thrown 3 picks, and Aaron Rodgers came out and was like, yeah, that wasn't his fault. Our young receivers suck. However, so I thought it was really interesting, but then it comes back around full circle and says Rodgers did not call the meeting that the wide receivers got together, but he spoke extensively during it, according to several participants. Quote, it was just really giving us advice, rookie receiver Samori Toure said, basically letting us know that the Green Bay receiver core has always been held to a super high standard. All the legends that have been through here, it's just about us carrying on the standard and stepping up. Toure, a 7th round pick, proceeded to have perhaps his best practice of camp, not only catching a 50-yard touchdown pass from Jordan Love in a 2-minute drill, but also snagging the drill-winning 2-point conversion to wrap up 2 days of joint practices with the New Orleans Saints. So I don't know. Shrooms are one thing, receivers dropping balls are another, and Aaron Rodgers seems to be heavily invested in both.
I mean, it makes sense, at least on the receivers dropping balls. Because, granted, he's losing Devontae Adams, who literally had, I want to say, like, 60 to 70% of, like, the targets for Green Bay wide receivers. Don't count me on that number. That's pretty much a guess, but it probably would be a pretty good guess. No one else gets a lot of touches, and the only one that's left was, like, Alan Lazard and, of course, Randall Cobb. Everybody else has not really caught a lot of passes from Aaron Rodgers or at all from Aaron Rodgers. So I guess it makes sense. Like he's gonna be a little bit, frustrated because outside like the passing game, it was always Devontae Adams. So it makes sense. He's gonna be gosh darn it, that fly. A little bit Frustrated. You see? Oh,
There's a fly that's in the studio with us right
and
now,
it's gonna die.
and Jazsmin was waving her flip flop around there for a second, and I was really hoping that she was gonna Mr. Miyagi it, but she has not yet. It's currently on the light fixture. We won't be smacking that.
I would throw my sandal, but I'm terrified of the consequences, so I won't do it.
Yeah, let's not do that. I mean that would make for incredible YouTube, but let's not do that. So the Washington Commanders, Jack Del Rio, last time that he had a press conference and he took questions from the media, resulted in a $100,000 fine. And it was because he got into politics. He started talking about all the stuff that was happening at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. People started asking him questions for some reason about it, and he made some comments that apparently the NFL didn't like, so they decided to fine him $100,000. And so, says Del Rio, this is according to John Keim, who's an ESPN staff writer, Del Rio, who on June 9th referred to the events at the U.S. Capitol 19 months ago as a dust-up, made it clear Wednesday in his first news conference since then that he only wanted to discuss his players or the Commanders in general, the Washington Commanders. I'm so happy to be in camp right now, Del Rio said. The team is doing a great job working on preparing for the season, and everything I'd like to talk about should have to do with football and playing good defense. So cool, good for you, and don't get fined another $100,000. So, yeah, okay. So that's I've very, very much tried to avoid politics on this show.
Good idea.
I really, really, really do. So I hope that I didn't breach my personal politics ethics. I don't know. I just tend to avoid it. But I want to get you, Jazsmin, going on a, let's take a 90-second take.
Oh, okay.
The Cowboys gonna suck this year?
Jesus. So if that's not an indication, I don't know what is.
And let me preface.
Okay.
I saw a video like last week of all of their guys coming up to the line of scrimmage, and it literally looked like a high school football team.
What?
Yeah, it was definitely the Cowboys. I'll have to find the video. But
yes,
the video was like making fun of the Cowboys, and it was like they literally looked like a bunch of high schoolers from like Little Giants coming to play on this field, and they honestly did.
What was it, the third or fourth team, or was it the starters?
It was the starters.
Oh, Jesus, okay. I'm not going to use just one clip, because if I dig up every team's practice footage or training camp footage, everybody's going to find something. Everyone just likes to do it on the Cowboys.
And it was weird because they were all in their uniforms, and it was like in a stadium. So
Oh, whoa, wait. Are you talking about the commercial?
Maybe.
Wait, there's like a commercial with the housewives of like some housewife show or something like that?
I have no idea.
They-
I saw this random video out of context. I laughed at it and then moved on with my life.
Did it look professional or in a practice?
It looked pretty professional.
Yeah, okay. There was a commercial. It was like a direct TV commercial.
Okay, but did they use the starters?
They used Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. That's it.
And then everybody else was not.
Was not.
Okay.
And they were literally playing against like the housewives of whatever city.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I was just saying,
yeah.
because that's why, like, I don't think, okay, that makes so much sense. Because
Yeah,
at first,
there
some of
we
these
go.
guys that I'm looking at on the team, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait. I've got a clip for this. Hold on. I was like, exactly. What are we doing? Like, what is wrong with these guys?
Yeah. That was a direct TV commercial. Okay,
Gosh,
guys.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, I already knew it. I saw it. I already knew when it came out. I was like, yeah, people are gonna use this for some.
Yeah, that's a big on my part, and I stand corrected.
It's okay, but back to the question at hand: are the Cowboys going to suck this year? Probably. I mean, every year that we don't get like, I don't know, 10 wins or actually get a Super Bowl appearance means they suck. That's pretty much it. So of course the past 26, 27 years, if it's not the Super Bowl, you suck. That's pretty much been the gist. Granted, we have literally no receivers outside of CeeDee Lamb right now, and he cut his foot, so he's out of practice for a couple of days.
Wait, he cut his foot?
Yeah, how he cut his foot, don't know. He said he was just doing some dumb stuff, and he cut his foot, so he hasn't been practicing in a couple days. It wasn't like a serious injury, but it did need stitches. So they're just like, be cool, because you are literally our only option at receiver.
Yeah.
So they're like, you need to sit your butt down somewhere. But the season, it's probably going to be, you start out real rough, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yep.
So there's somewhere in my heart I'm still hopeful. It's not going to be a Super Bowl. I already know damn well that's not going to happen. So everybody chill out.
Playoff contention, yes or no?
It's the NFC East, so I think so. Yes.
Yes.
But
all right.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Cowboys in the playoff. Yes, according to Jazsmin for 2022-2023.
Eagles made the playoffs at 9-8.
Fair enough. All right, one more segment to go before we wrap it up for the last time on Friday for training camp with Kolby Van Camp. You've been listening to Wildcat 91.9.
Where's the flag? Oh! Ugh, gosh, do I want to?
Where is it?
It's right there on the thing.
Smack it. Hold the mic. Smack it. Yes!
Did I get it?
Success!
Ah!
Smack it again.
No! Damn it! Can you get it? Can you like smush it?
Hold on.
No! Did it fly?
Give me your thing.
Where is it?
As a fan of K-State, like me, you're proud to be associated with hardworking young people who get the job done.
Damn it.
Oh, I see it.
You're on campus. Is the award-winning, longest-running college FM radio station in the country.
Yeah!
Let's go!
Oh, I almost got it. It was almost close.
Radio,
I told you it was gonna die.
sports journalism,
They tried to play games.
social media, and now multi-platform media.
It's all for you, YouTube.
Success! I be forgetting that's there.
I love that. It's gonna be such a great blooper. All right, I just gotta say, I've got the ultimate clip for this. This is why we have Cartwall, Jazsmin.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we've got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We killed the fly.
Yes! Yes!
we got it in the break.
Well, I thought it was playing with me. It was right by my head.
Hey, go watch my YouTube channel. Go look up Kolby Van Camp, Kolby Van Camp, and in the next 24 hours there will be a blooper on my YouTube of Jazsmin and I destroying this fly.
It was a group effort.
It was a group effort. She got the first initial smack in. It flew onto the board and it kind of flopped around, so I knocked it off the board. Then it flew to the wall to presumably die, and I smacked it again. And now it's rotting on the floor. So
I told y'all it was gonna die.
yeah, if PETA comes to get me because I talked about killing a fly, I'm going to jump out of a window. So
Fight it in court.
fight it in court. Actually, I learned today, and this is something that I had no idea existed, but apparently, thanks to our student fees that we pay, if we need it, we can get one free session with an attorney here on campus.
Is that kind of sketchy? I don't know. What it is.
Like if your apartment complex is screwing you over, you can go and visit this attorney, and they might take that apartment complex to court.
That's insane.
So yeah, the things you learn in graduate teaching school.
Wow.
So go do that. I'm not saying necessarily go sue your apartment complex, but if you do need legal advice, apparently that's a thing that exists to Kansas State students that I was not previously aware of, and that I will probably end up using for one reason or another.
Why not? It's free. You gotta,
Yeah,
it's
go
like
for it.
you can't go into in a halftime with no one time out left. You know what I mean? Stuff
Yep.
Like that.
Yep. All right. So now we're gonna go for the last 14 minutes of the show, according to my watch. We're gonna talk about basketball,
Woohoo!
and more basketball. So your future ex-husband,
Yes.
Giannis.
I'm glad you remembered.
He says in an ESPN article written by Jamal Collier that he would be open to playing for the Chicago Bulls later in his NBA career. Jazsmin, how are we feeling about that statement, and also being the future ex-wife of a Chicago Bulls player?
Honestly, it'd be pretty dope. Chicago's not gonna. I feel like they're not gonna be as trash as they have been for the past few years since Jordan and Pippen and all of them left.
Yeah.
This year, or this past season, I should say, was a reflection of that. I don't know if that'll still be a thing, but Chicago finally got a taste of some pretty decent basketball for the first time in a minute. So the thought of it, it's possible. I mean, it's really hard for one player to stay with one franchise for their entire career. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. So it's not completely out of the question if something like that was to happen to Giannis Antetokounmpo, aka my future ex-husband.
So, okay, and I can't remember if we've talked about this or not, but please explain to me why he's your future ex-husband. Why is he not your just future husband? Like, are you gonna get together? You're gonna get married? Is it gonna be like a Las Vegas, like shotgun wedding kind of deal? And then you're like, actually, never mind. Or is there like, do you feel like there's some like fight that you would have and then it would just be over? Like, what? Explain your reasoning for future ex-husband.
Because it just sounds funnier than future husband.
Oh, okay.
That's all. If Giannis Antetokounmpo was to leave, his baby mother, I don't know if his fiance or his actual wife, I don't know. I mean, it'd be really, really sad, but I would not cry very hard. But if the occasion was such to arise, we shall see. But I mean, Dak Prescott is also going to be my future husband at some point too. So I have a plethora. It's fine.
Okay, so okay, I don't want to like invade your privacy, but this is fascinating to me. So we have Giannis and Dak on your future ex-husband list. Is there anybody else that is important in sports that we need to know about?
Actually, I don't really know. That's pretty much the heftiness of it. And those two combined, that's a lot of money. So,
then go use your free legal counseling as a Kansas State student, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Jazmin's gonna go get her free legal counseling. So it was just, I thought the article was kind of interesting. It says that Giannis said in a quote, "I think anybody that you asked that question that plays basketball, if he said no, he'd be a liar." It's a team that won multiple championships. It's a team that one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player to ever play this game, played for. So it's a no-brainer. Everybody would love to play for Chicago. Giannis has 4 years remaining on his 5-year, $228 million extension he signed before winning the Finals MVP and leading the Bucks to the 2021 NBA Championship. He made a $1 million investment to Antidote Health, which was founded in 2021 and it's headquartered in New York City, and conducted several interviews late last month to promote the company. That's kind of interesting. I'm very curious about what that's about. Then he said in the final statement, down the line, you never know. You never know how life brings it. Maybe I play for Chicago. But right now, I'm committed to Milwaukee. So, okay.
That's fair.
Interesting. I mean, I can't blame the guy. Also, all right, I'm going to pose the age-old question to you.
Okay.
Because you're the resident NBA guru, and I don't know anything about the NBA. And frankly, I think most of these guys are prima donnas. I really like Giannis. I really like Steph. I really like Seth Curry as well. But essentially, like the James Hardens, the Kyrie Irvings, the LeBron Jameses, all of those guys are just divas. And yes, they are skilled, but they're divas. And it just grates on my nerves to a point where I'm like, I can't watch you. Like I would take no pleasure in going to watch them in a basketball game. So LeBron James, according to ESPN.com, he's on a path to breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time NBA points record. And I think it's like projected he could do it this season or the season after or something like that if he has a standout season. So I think it's time to ask, is LeBron the greatest basketball player of all time?
You're asking me that?
Yes, I am. Because you're the person who, at least in this room of two, knows the most about this. I would probably say no. But I'm curious as to what you have to say.
Gosh, I have been avoiding this question of me having to answer it.
And you get to answer on the last time.
24 years. Oh gosh. It's hard to really say because there's so many greats. Of course, you obviously have like that top 5, you know, with like it's not going to be ranked or placed, but you still have Jordan, you still have LeBron, you still got Kareem, you know, you have Shaq. There's so many guys, but also you have to feel like there's so many that maybe you have to section it off into generations. Like LeBron James is the greatest player in his generation, and then Michael Jordan is the greatest player in his generation. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the best in his, and so on and so forth. Bill Russell. It's kind of like that. I feel like that's the best way to put it, because if you have like a Mount Rushmore of the NBA, you get your like 4 or 5 guys, but you're leaving off a whole bunch of other guys who are just as good, and that's just an unfair comparison. That's why everyone will always have a different, a different list, and it will be mixed. No list will really be correct, and no list will really be wrong either. That's what makes it so complicated, especially when you have the who's the greatest of all time between Michael Jordan and LeBron James. You can't really fully do that. I feel you have to section it off in different eras. That's just me. That's
Okay.
the best way for me also to avoid that answer.
Yeah, you definitely sidestepped it, but that's okay. I put you on this. I put you on the spot with that.
I should be a
Okay.
politician.
Politics in Jazmin's future.
Oh God!
Honestly,
Help everybody.
I think if I was gonna name greatest NBA player of all time, and this is coming from someone who doesn't actively watch the NBA, so I feel relatively uninvested in my opinion
Mhm.
of this.
Mhm.
Kobe Bryant. I think Kobe's the best. LeBron's definitely in the top 5. But I can't get behind this idea yet of he's the best to ever play the game.
Because you can't. And it's also different styles of play. Different, like I know with the top 75 that came out this past season, a good portion of them were guys where they were playing in like black and white, and they would more than likely get absolutely dusted up, like playing today's game. Like if you drop Kyrie Irving and his skills in like 1950s, like what is that man going to do to everybody?
Yeah.
He's probably gonna drop like 85 points a night. You know what I mean? So it's hard to really do that. That's why me personally, like, if you had to watch them on screens that were black and white, leave them off the list. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's for all sports. But this, however, you gotta section it off. You really have to, because there's too many greats to just really narrow it down to only 5 players.
Okay. All right. Well, he's on his way to breaking, because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's, it's an all-time NBA point record. So, okay. And then also LeBron, some more insider information on LeBron. He signed an extension with the Los Angeles Lakers for $97.1 million. It's reported by Woj from ESPN. So, what does that mean for the Lakers? Jazmin, what are we thinking that LeBron taking an extension on an honestly crappy Lakers team is gonna do?
I mean, good for them. You know what I mean? It's never gonna hurt to have LeBron James on your team.
Is Magic Johnson just throwing money into the void at this point?
No, he's not, because he's not the GM with the Lakers anymore.
I thought he was. See, that tells you how much that I know.
See, now there was that meme that came out a couple years ago where he someone asked Magic about like the Lakers. He's like, I ain't gonna be here, and then that's where that came from.
My bad. I still thought he was in charge.
It's all good. But I mean, like I said, it's never gonna hurt to have LeBron James on your team. And granted, LeBron James would not make a great GM for obvious reason to consider how you look at last year by bringing in Melo and Westbrook. And it was pretty much like the geriatric team of the NBA because everybody was pretty much old. So granted, that won't work out anymore. But you still have Anthony Davis, and if he will stop being made of glass, then maybe they can go back to being a little bit better. But
what is the word with Anthony Davis? I mean, what is going on with him?
I don't know. The man, especially like he's been known to be very injury prone, but last year I feel like it was just like a different level. My goodness, I remember seeing like I don't know if it was his first game back or if it was like his first like week back, but his first like he already like he tweaked his ankle after being out for the majority of the season at that point, and this man cannot stay healthy. The past 2 seasons he has been unable to stay healthy. So we shall see. I don't know. I haven't actually heard really any updates about Anthony Davis whatsoever. It's pretty much all been about like, is Russell Westbrook gonna come back to the Lakers? And a lot of Lakers fans are like, no, for the love of God, no. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the
Why
Lakers
are
right
they no for the love of God? No.
Because Russell Westbrook was not that great for them this past season.
And great as in like production, or not that great in that he was like toxic?
No, for just production. He was still a good teammate. He was just like his nickname is Russell Westbrook because that's all he was shooting was bricks. And there was even at a time where like the fans would like actually groan loud enough you can hear it on TV when he was gonna take a shot. They're like, you could hear it. I was like, that's gotta be deflating for
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook.
No
But
kidding.
it's really strange to see because Russell Westbrook is he's a great player. He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. He's literally Mr. Triple Double. But for some reason, like playing with the Lakers just wasn't working out. But maybe it'll be better this season. I don't know. I hope so because I do like Russell Westbrook. So we'll hope so. Lakers fans are not really patient, but I can say this that I hope it works out because I'm not really a Lakers fan, so it's fine that I can give this man a chance and I have patience.
Yeah.
But still, what it means for the Lakers, like I said, it's good. It's good. It's gonna be good to have LeBron James, and yeah, he's like 37 years old, 38, I think he'll be next season, and he looks just fine. he really does not look like he's gonna be really slowing down anytime soon. So
Yeah.
it's pretty much kind of like Tom Brady as far as like, oh, he's still going. So that's pretty much it. And this extension is going to go until he is 40 years old. And like he said, he wanted a chance to play with his sons, or at least play with Bronny. So maybe that, I'm not saying that Bronny will end up on the Lakers whenever he decides to play in the NBA or if he ever decides to, but it means it'll be a slightly better chance because he's been extended. So
Okay. Well, I think that's an interesting like conflict of interest too. If your dad is like one of the key like guys in the NBA, and
Yeah,
he's
I
like, I
wasn't
want
for
my
it.
son to play with me. I'd be like, is that good for your locker room?
I mean, actually, I was thinking about Bronny and be like, I don't kind of want to play with my dad. I don't know the trait.
Yeah.
It's I talked about this before. I'd be like, does he want that? You know what I mean? Because you get a different
Yeah.
type of treatment, and of course LeBron has a lot of weight, you know, like in the NBA and NBA locker room and with the coaches in front office and stuff like that.
Right. And so,
So-
that I don't know.
I
As
don't
much
know if
as
you
I love
want
my
that.
dad, if we were both athletes and he was like, my son has to play with me, I'd be like, I don't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was for you, cool. Like if you were the coach, fine.
Yeah,
I can do that.
but with
With you, I don't know about that. I mean, is
I
LeBron
wouldn't
gonna chew
want
on his son like he chews on some of his teammates? No.
or even harder.
yeah, or exactly, or it would be like rude to the point of.
Who knows?
Oh well. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. It's our final Friday night. Training camp's gonna be going to Thursday nights starting next week, and for the foreseeable future, 6 to 7 p.m. Yours truly, Jazsmin. Thanks for being on the final show. Go check me out on YouTube. Go look it up on Kolby Van Camp on YouTube. You'll find me, and you'll want to see us kill the fly.
Yes.
Because that was something else. We are officially lords of the flies.
I see what you did
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
liked
You
it.
see
I liked
You
it.
see it. All right. You've been listening to Training Camp with Kolby Van Camp on Wildcat 91.9 KSDB Manhattan.